Only Americans who's concerned with the Somali business is the ones who have no life. They have a lot of time in their hand. They broke.
Check this out, y'all. Trump said 88% of them, but it's 89% of them on welfare, receiving some type of government assistance. And with all that scam money that y'all scam taxpayers out of, with luxurious trips, houses, and these luxury vehicles, not one of those vehicles was a work vehicle. No pickup trucks, no work boots, just welfare and scamming welfare. Y'all had nothing but time on your hands, taxpayers taking care of you. And have you noticed when ICE conduct these raids, you're the only group of immigrants that's walking the streets, that's in your cars, never at a work site, never at a construction site, never at a warehouse do you guys get apprehended. It's always walking around or hanging out on street corners. And then on top of that, y'all just terrorizing neighborhoods, a bunch of land pirates. E.T. phone home. It's time for E.T. to phone home.
E.T. phone home. And they'll come. Come home. Home.
We paid $10 billion! $10 billion! Where are the kids? Where are the kids? No classrooms, no children, no answers! Where are the kids? They won't leave until...
Now guys, for a long time, Black Americans chose silence. Not because they didn't negotiate, okay? Not because they didn't feel disrespected, but because they believe in peace. They believe in coexistence and also minding their own black business, as they normally put it. But now, that silence is now breaking. Across social media and community conversations, Black Americans are finally speaking about growing frustrations from what they describe as Somali arrogance, and then to empty taxpayers-funded daycares, and also a pattern of misbehavior they say feels dismissive or entitled and disconnected from shared struggles. This isn't about hate. This is about accountability and honesty and even impact. Now, let's talk about what really happened and why the silence is now ending.
This is gonna ruffle some feathers for my Somali brothers and sisters. Here in America, how you present is what you are. So I know you guys don't want to be black and tell people you're not black. But here in America, you're black as shit, like me. Me and you are the same, okay, color-wise. Okay? This is why race is so stupid. It's dumb. But how you present is what you are. Yeah, you'll iron out the facts later. But if we see you walking down the street and you committed a crime, or you needed us to send help because something happened in an emergency and like somebody was driving and seen an accident, when they asked, can you identify this person? I would say a black male or female. Just like anybody else here in America would. So I just hate to burst your little bubble of arrogance, of you guys feeling like you're not black, because I know that in Africa that's a big thing, like who's East African and who's... But here in America, you're black. Like I'm black. Okay? That's that, all right? Now that we got that out of the way. And then now, all of a sudden, it's convenient to be black in America. When it's time to be accountable for something. But I just wanted to let if we needed to have like a geography lesson, or we just needed to have just a welcome here lesson. How you present here in America is what you are. Okay? If you're Dominican and you're dark, you're black here. That's how it works here. Okay? If you're Hispanic and you're very light, you're white here. That's it. It's very simple. I don't know if maybe nobody told you guys. That doesn't fly here. But please don't try to use the race card when it's convenient on the backs of the American black people. Thank you.
I've been saying that black Americans don't have allies for the longest, right? Now, this proves my point. Out there in Minnesota, a young black mother was looking for a daycare to put her children. What do you know? The Somalis run a 24-hour daycare. But when she get there, they don't want to give her a tour. They don't want to service her. And she says,
I tried to send my child to one of the 24-hour daycare centers because this is the only 24-hour daycare in Minnesota. The Somalis would not give me a tour. They did not want me to bring my kids to their daycare. It was because they was doing daycare fraud. Come to find out, another thing with them, they made it very clear their only agenda is to benefit the Somali community.
you know, most of these immigrants, they come here. They don't come here to ally with us blacks. They don't come here to be our friends. They don't come here to service us. They don't come here to be around us. They come here to use America for whatever they can get out of it. That's something that we all have to remember, because that's what it is. You open a business here in America, then it's for everyone. You service everyone. You don't come to America to only service your own people. And that's one of the biggest issues that white Americans and black Americans have with all immigrant groups right now in America. You guys come here and you don't even play by the rules, because before you had your own place, before you had your own little cities and towns, you had to come to our cities and towns. Guess what? You got all the services you need. So that's one of the biggest issues that black Americans have with all immigrants. You guys come here, you think you're better than us. You don't treat us with any kind of respect. You don't respect our history. You don't respect our language. You don't respect our country. You don't respect us at all. But yet you expect us to respect you. You expect us to put our bodies on the line when ICE is chasing your ass down the street. No, sir. It's never happening again. Believe me, black Americans do not have any allies, and we need to start marching and acting like it and voting and standing on that too.
I just got done watching all of these videos about the fraud going down in the daycare centers in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Columbus, Ohio, and now I just ran across another gal in Washington. And the reason why I'm so into this is because I'm from Washington. I have lived there and owned a business, a small business, for the last 17 years of my life. And I, in the last 5 years, have finally had children. I have now a 5-year-old and a 2-year-old. And I called around a year ahead of time before they were ever born to get on a wait list for daycares. And at that point, it never dawned on me that any of them were Somali run or any of that. The point I'm getting at is I was on a wait list and I never got a call back. They're 5. My oldest is 5 and I still have not gotten a call back. They took my money to get on a wait list. Several places took my money to get on a wait list. I ended up having, because I own a business, I can't just stop. I ended up having to get private childcare, a nanny to come into my house. That took half of my paycheck, and that was fine. It was worth it. But as the years progressed, I couldn't do that. I lived downtown Seattle with a private nanny and my work and rent there and everything, and the bills just added up. And as soon as I had my second child, I realized I'm gonna have to pay my nanny double. And I'm like, oh, so my whole paycheck. But here's the problem with that is I couldn't afford it anymore. So I had to move out of Washington to Las Vegas, Nevada, because the price of living was cheaper over here, everything was cheaper over here, and I now travel back and forth to work over in Washington every 3 weeks.
So basically what you're saying is that you had to take personal ownership and responsibility for having children. But on top of that, right, because she was talking about the cost of living and everything like that. But on top of that, what she's saying is that this finesse, right, the whole daycare thing and the daycare finesse is playing out across the United States of America, just most in Minnesota, Minneapolis. And a lot of these places are Somali ran, because that's the play. Obviously, everybody is hip to the play now. And they are not necessarily taking in children. They're not looking to actually run a daycare to take in children. A lot of these places, if not most of them or all of them, overwhelmingly are taking the money, they're getting the government money, they're finessing the books, and then they're acting like they're watching children, but they're not actually watching children. They're not doing the work for the thing that they're getting paid for. The thing that I'm trying to understand is, and I never even knew this, and so this is the reason why I love popular culture and I love educating people as I learn it and having conversations about it, and then we try to figure out if it makes sense for us as a culture to embrace this and why we pay so much in taxes. This is one of the things that I'm trying to understand. When did it becomes the government's responsibility, aka taxpayers' responsibility, to fund child care for people that choose to have children? How did this even become a thing?
First things first, I'm actually so shocked that Trump is attacking us. I think Trump should be thanking us in multiple ways, and I'm going to explain. First things first, I think we are a good example of what the American dream can look like. Like, Somali Americans, and it's making me sad and it's funny, like, I know Somali people are very funny. We're like the class clan who also happens to be valedictorian. Somalis in Minnesota are so successful. I take multiple trips a year to Minnesota and I leave so inspired. You have Somali-owned law firms, Somali-owned pharmacies, Somali-owned everything you can think of, and it's so inspiring to see that what my community could do in just 30 years. Literally, we came to this country not speaking English, not knowing anything. We're Black, Muslim, we're immigrant, and we're able to be that successful. It should be really applauded. Like, I need Trump to stand up and applaud for us because it's shocking. Literally, my friend just moved to Minnesota and she was telling me how when she gave birth, it was all Somali staff. Her midwife was Somali, her doctors were Somali, her nurses were Somali. Like, that is so beautiful to see, and it should be celebrated, okay? Second of all, Trump, you should be thanking my people for giving a random Midwestern state that much clout and money. Like, I don't think, other than Chicago, I think Minnesota is really popping when it comes to tourism because of Somali Americans like me, okay? So you should be thanking us because Minnesota would have been nothing if Somalis didn't move there. Like, if we're being honest, like, we have made that state pop and we have made it beautiful for the rest of the world. So you should thank us, and if you want, you can donate Minnesota to the great country of Somalia. Like, I think it's a nice trade-off. And last but not least, I'm so happy that people are discovering how funny, witty Somali people are. We're very confident. And although Trump said what he had to say, like, I want him to know, Yani, like, it didn't even, like, bother. Like, it didn't do anything to our confidence. We've heard everything you've said before. People always make fun of Somalia, da-da-da. But I still think I'm better than everyone. Like, God has made me Somali Muhammad. Like, I'm okay. I'm okay. On top of that, I'm Somali American, broski. Like, I'm winning on both sides. But yeah, it's just nice to see that everyone's realizing Somali people are very funny, very confident. And that's never gonna change. It has not changed since colonial days, baby boy. And it's not gonna change because somebody right now decided to make fun of us. We're actually winning the war, so.
It's a daycare center owned by Somalians and stuff like that.
Have you ever seen any kids in this place here?
No, not that I know of. I just seen it, the building itself. I've never seen nobody come out the building or go into the building.
You've never seen anybody over there?
No, not at all.
So right now we are in front of the Great Minds Learning Academy. This is one of the many daycare centers, learning centers here in Columbus, Ohio that are associated with the Somali community. As you know, Nick Shirley put out a bombshell report about all these fraudulent daycare facilities in Minneapolis, Minnesota. So we wanted to come out to Columbus, Ohio and investigate what might be going on in the second largest Somali community in the United States of America. So this place here is the first place we're gonna knock, and we're gonna see if anybody picks up or answers the door. Let's see. So it's locked. We're ringing the doorbell here. Knocking on the door. Nobody's picking up. So we're not sure what the hell's going on here, but we're gonna get out of here. Now there's somebody over there. How you doing, sir? I'm sure you see the reports over the weekend about all the daycare centers in Minnesota. We just wanted to see what was going on. Did you know anything about this place here?
It's a daycare center owned by Somalians and stuff like that.
Do you ever see any kids there?
No, because they use the back door, so I won't know if they is.
They use the back door.
Yeah, I never seen nobody come in it, but they use the back door.
But have you ever seen any kid? You live around here?
Yeah, on this building right here.
Oh, you're in this building?
Yeah.
You're in this building too? Hey, let me ask you, have you ever seen any kids in this place here?
No, not that I know of. They use the back, so I've never seen nobody come out the front.
You've never seen anybody over there?
No, not at all.
I just seen it, the building itself. I've never seen nobody come out the building or go in the building.
So we came to the back, just like those guys suggested, and there's nothing here. You know, we can keep poking around, but there's so many of these centers to go to. We're just getting started. So we're gonna go around the city. We're gonna go to a few more of these places. We're gonna see if we can get anybody to talk to us. Stay tuned.
In case you was wondering, I could care less about them Somalians that's getting investigated for all of this child care fraud that they're doing, all this business fraud that's been going on. You know why? Because I'm an American citizen, and you know how hard it's been for me to get a business loan. And then you know what else? I even went to the Somalians because they had a lot of child care centers in Columbus, Ohio, and I was trying to figure out, how are y'all doing it? Like, can you put me on? Can you help me? And guess what? They wasn't trying to help me. I went in to like do an internship at one, and the girl was showing me around and all that, but I'm like, let's get to the nitty gritty. How are y'all getting the funding? How are y'all doing this? Wouldn't give me the sauce. So you know what? Clink, 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 clink. If it got to go that way, it got to go that way. And I just want to make this clear. I have nothing in general against the Somalian people at all. I don't care. Live your life freely. As an immigrant, do whatever. Live your life freely. But the criminality of it all, and the fact that it's so hard for me, myself, as an American, to get those type of things is what pisses me the fuck off. But otherwise, do you live your life. Again, I have nothing against your community. I'm just saying, I don't like the criminality. I don't like the fact that y'all been doing all this fraud and getting away with it, and y'all wouldn't tell us. The fuck?
So we don't know what you're looking for, though.
Okay, well, I'm just checking up on
You're
them,
a
seeing different
stranger.
ones.
You cannot come to my house.
I can ring the doorbell and say
no,
hi.
No, you cannot.
Yeah, yes.
You cannot. This is my property.
Oh, I know.
Call the police and say hi.
Yes.
I have a kids. I don't know. I'm not sure if you're a criminal. If you're a child molester, you need to leave my door alone.
Okay, I'll leave.
The kids say.
You asked me to leave, I'll leave.
No. You guys are
you don't
wrong.
want me to leave?
Do you know you have to go through background check in order to come to somebody's house?
No, you don't.
Do you understand?
Yeah, you do. You can knock on the door.
You cannot walk. You cannot walk in.
Yes, you
A
can.
child care.
I can knock on the front door.
No, you need to leave
I
right
will
now.
leave. Thank you.
Also,
You guys have a good
leave
day.
my property.
We don't want our faces showed on social media, so I am recording you too. So
Okay.
if you do post on social
If
media,
you do that, we have your information and we saw it already in the system.
There's no right to privacy
No,
in public.
there is
so
privacy.
You guys have a good
Yeah,
day.
this is
You
our
guys have a
property.
good day.
You have a
Don't
good
be
day
so
too.
emotional. It's okay.
No. Know
Have a
your
good day.
rules. Know your rules before you come to this place. Know your rules.
Have a
Know your
good
rules.
have a good day.
You
Have a
too.
good day.
Know your
You
rules
guys have a
before you
good
come.
day.
You looking for something to do with your TikTok? Do not come to
I'm just
this
looking.
place.
I'm just going to all the local daycares. I've gone to a bunch of them today. Everybody's been very nice.
We don't need no harassment.
This isn't harassment. I knocked on the door and said hello. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you guys. You guys have a wonderful New Year's, okay? Thank you. Have a happy New Year's. Happy New Year's, guys. Happy New Year's. Very friendly here.
To the Somalian girl in America who said fraud is bad and covered her mouth, I'm afraid you have sent us back 50 years. Yeah, this comment alone. I can't lie, it's not looking good for every Somali out there in America, especially in Minnesota. You lot are about to get found out because of one misplaced lack of judgment. Yeah? How can you say fraud is bad and then cover your mouth? What? You been doing fraud or something? Oh my days, I can't take my people seriously sometimes. Like, it's embarrassing. There's a reason why Americans hate us. There's a reason why Donald Trump hates us. There's a reason why there's this outcry. Because of stuff like this. Dearie me. 10 years. 50 years. It sent us back. All because of one phrase. Don't get me wrong, fraud is bad. But still, come on. You could have at least paid out differently. It's all covering your mouth.
Ever since Nick Shirley has came out here to Minnesota and did those videos saying that there's some Somalian brothers and sisters inside of those daycares committing fraud. Now, I don't know if true fraud is going on or not, and I'm not defending it whatsoever, and I'm not saying that it is happening. The reason why I'm doing this video is because ever since Nick Shirley has done those videos, and I'm not saying that it is fault, but what I'm saying is there's a many of brothers and sisters that's gotten up and been disrespectful and racist towards Somalian brothers and sisters for absolutely no reason. Absolutely. We all know that there's going to be some Somalian brothers and sisters that does wrong, but we also know there's going to be some black brothers and sisters that do wrong. We know it's going to be some white brothers and sisters that do wrong. We know it's going to be some Asian, some Native, some Hispanic, and so on and so forth, brothers and sisters that's going to do wrong, because we all know that good or bad does not come in the skin color. So we all know that it's wrong and it's fucked up for people to be dragging and doing Somalian brothers and sisters the way that they've been doing them just because of the decision of some brothers and sisters that's Somalian that have made the decisions that they done made. Black brothers and sisters then committed fraud too. And how many of y'all want people to just run around and drag you and be racist towards you because there's some black brothers and sisters that have committed some fraud? How many of you that's white brothers and sisters want somebody to run around and drag you based off the fact that there's some white brothers and sisters out there that have committed some fraud? Hey, prime example, they say that Nick Shirley's mom and dad or parents then committed some fraud. Now, I don't know if that's true or not, but I have been hearing that that's what people been saying. Now, Nick Shirley seems to be a white brother, so I'm assuming that his mom and dad would be a white brother or a white sister. So therefore, would y'all want anybody to run around dragging you and hating you based off the actions of another white brother or sister? I don't see why people are getting up all of a sudden right now and dragging Somalian brothers and sisters based off of the actions of other Somalian brothers and sisters, as if there's not other brothers and sisters with the same skin color as you that's been doing wrong, and you don't want nobody to see they wrong and then all of a sudden drag you and or hate you based off the fact that you share that same skin color, nationality, and or ethnicity as them. And the most fucked up part about it is, I done seen many of black brothers and sisters get in those comment section and be disrespectful and just as racist. And we know how it feels for somebody to be disrespectful and or racist towards us just because somebody else that share the same skin color as us has done some wrong to somebody else and or somebody else that had a bad experience with a black brother or sister. The amount of judgment, the amount of hate that black brothers and sisters have received generation after generation, and for black brothers and sisters to be able to get up and to do to somebody else something that they've always hated to be done for them is absolutely disgusting. We should be the ones to know first and foremost how it feels for somebody to judge us and to mistreat us based off the actions of somebody else. And here we are screaming constantly that we want to change. How can we get a change if we're being a part of the problem? Like I said, it's very important to keep things equal while we're fighting for things to be equal.
A 23-year-old revealed massive fraud by Somali immigrants in Tim Walz's Minnesota. The fraud was obvious, but practically no one called it out. Why? Come on. Isn't it obvious? It's because they're black immigrants and people are afraid of being called racist. Duh.
The people here are so afraid of being called a racist or an Islamophobe, and they're afraid of their own shadow. And I don't understand. This is our future generations are going to have to pay for all this fraud, and they just want to bury their heads in the sand and go on and just not worry about it.
Here's how the fraud works. Members of the Somali community set up daycares and healthcare companies. Many were clustered together. 22 healthcare facilities listed in one building. These businesses received millions of dollars of Minnesota taxpayer money, but many appear to be fronts. The investigator visited over a dozen childcare centers. No children at any of them. One learning center misspelled learning on their sign. The FBI confirmed they're investigating fraud networks within this community. Federal prosecutors say the total fraud could be as high as 9 to 10 billion. And people are tiptoeing around it, but this fraud is being perpetrated by members of a specific group, Somalian immigrants. Now, Governor Walz says pointing this out is white supremacy.
This is what happens when they target communities for their own benefit. This is what happens when they scapegoat.
And this is what happens when they no longer hide the idea of white supremacy.
No, Governor. Pointing out fraud is principled. We're not criticizing you because of race. You're using race to escape criticism. Maybe that's why Kalshi users give him a 69% chance of being charged with a federal crime. Now, as someone whose parents immigrated from Africa, let me explain something. Humans are hardware. Culture is software. Our hardware is fundamentally the same. Our software is wildly different. America's software prioritizes universal principles, the nation state, and the rule of law. That's the Constitution. The software of developing countries often prioritizes tribe, heritage, customs. That's okay, but it's different. I've been to Ghana 3 times. My parents are from there, and I feel like an alien when I visit. Because same hardware, different software. In many places in Africa, if you get stopped by cops, bribes are expected. Governments are dysfunctional because they're run by people who value tribe over nation. And when I visit, I think, man, am I grateful to my parents. They didn't come here to take, they came to integrate. They didn't raise me to be African American. They raised me to be American. That's not the mindset of every immigrant.
معها قضية إلهام، معها قضية مينيسوتا، معها قضية غير مريكان، قضية إلهام وقضية صومالية.
These people choose their tribe over this nation. We should only admit immigrants running compatible software. People who don't just ask what America can do for them, but what they can do for America. That's not what the Somalis committing fraud are doing. They came to take, not make. Their hardware isn't bad, but their software is incompatible. And when anyone points this out, about fraud, about illegal immigration, someone pulls the race card. But that's just demonizing instead of understanding good faith critics. Meanwhile, politicians are weaponizing your empathy and exploiting your fear of being called a racist. And you know who gets hurt the most when Somalis break the law? The Somalis who don't. The American thing to do is for them to hold their peers accountable. Because if you won't hold your tribe accountable, you've chosen your tribe over this country. But if that's what you want, why are you here? If this message resonated with you and you appreciate someone willing to say what's true, even when it's uncomfortable, please consider becoming a paying subscriber on Substack. That's what keeps this work going.
So the Somalian fraud that's been discovered by that random reporter is crazy. And I saw this video that was talking about the Somalian woman was like, she was so shocked by black people making videos and, you know, like, y'all hate us or something like that. And I just commented, which made me make a video. And I just said, nah, if we can't do it, y'all can't do it. Let me tell you something. I don't really think black people got a problem with fraud. You know what I mean? Not at all. I think the problem lies in the fact that when we do it, we get an automatic 5 to 10 off the rip. They coming. But then when y'all do it, y'all as in non-indigenous people to America, when y'all immigrants come over here, then y'all get all these different services and then y'all do it and then y'all just run millions out. Y'all telling me y'all been making millions of dollars off of fake daycare centers? I'm not even mad at you. However, seeing as how they locked up everybody who got a PPP loan, can't let it happen, bro. Can't let it slide, dog. Can't let it slide, bro. Can't let it. The fact that the lady is in jail right now, what was that, up in Georgia? For using EBT, her EBT, to get bakery snacks for her daughter's bake sale for school, and she's in jail right now, fighting a court case for misusage of EBT funds. She's gonna sit in jail, but you get to have $1.2 million? No, you must be exposed, dog. The little football player, the white man, Brett Favre or whatever, $200 million out of EBT to build a school gym for his rich kid's school already. Did he go to jail? No, he didn't go to jail. $200 million. They knew he did it. He's just living his best life. So if they do it and they get away with it, but when we do it, we can't get away with it, then y'all do it, then y'all can't get away with it. That's simple. That's simple. I mean, yeah, that's simple. That's all I want to say. It's really just hateration. Honestly, if we can't get away with fraud, then y'all can't get away with fraud. Because this is our actual taxpaying dollars. Y'all, I ain't gonna get into that. All I'm saying is, if we can't do fraud peacefully, then y'all can't do fraud peacefully, okay? And tell the Brit Fayers and the PPP people, because remember, the PPP loans of the companies, 80% of them got forgiven. They all got forgiven. But all the black and brown and everybody else who did the PPP loans, as if the PPP loan application went all of 35 seconds in a time and need where people were completely broke and didn't know what the money was going to come from, and they just sent that out and just said, oh, here goes some good old money. And people took that. Nah, they went to jail. They going through IRS to find you 10 years later, track you down. But the companies, Coke, Toyota, forgiven. Billions, forgiven. We sent $630 billion over to Israel. Taxes. Our money. No. Sorry. No, we can't let y'all just slide with that. Yo, let everybody do fraud peacefully. This is America. This is nothing but a Ponzi scheme. America is a Ponzi scheme. All we asking for is for us to be a part of the Ponzi scheme and for us not to go to jail. That's it. And until we get to be a part of the Ponzi scheme, then everybody else who are part of the Ponzi scheme got to go to jail too. That's simple.
Historically, black Americans have avoided public conflict with immigrants. They believed unity was more important than ego because they understood what it means to survive under scrutiny. Because many felt that if we speak up, we'll be painted as the problem. And even distancing from blackness became like a normal norm in America, where people hate all the black Americans simply because they chose to keep quiet. Because being black in America was a problem or has been a problem. Black silence was not weakness. It was a restraint, but a restraint that has some limits. So when black Americans say arrogance, they're not talking about success. They're talking about mocking black Americans' history and struggle. They're talking about claiming superiority while benefiting from black civil rights. They are also talking about denying black identity while living in black neighborhoods. They're also talking about looking down on the very people who fought for the rights everyone now enjoys. You can't disrespect black Americans and still expect their protection or support. That contradiction is where the tension now starts. You cannot disrespect black Americans, then call for their support. You cannot disrespect them, then expect that they protest for you. That's where the problems now comes in. You disrespect them, then you expect them to fight for you, and they have fought for you since America started. Now you expect them to fight for you, and yet you've been looking down on them, disrespecting their culture, disrespecting their sacrifices. One of the biggest flashpoints has been empty and underutilized daycares tied to Somali-run networks. The frustration isn't about the child care, but it's about public funds being allocated, facilities sitting empty, questions being raised. Black Americans are asking, who is being held accountable after all this stuff? And why are concerns blushed off? Why is criticism treated as hate instead of oversight? Tell me, if such a thing can happen in America and no one, no government, how comes after all those years there's no government that has ever detected this? These people have made a lot of money with this taxpayers' money. How comes they have become that rich? Those are the questions that many people are asking. That perception fuels that resentment. So with this, black Americans have changed. They're saying that silence did not earn them respect. And staying quiet didn't even stop that disrespect from other immigrants. Peace without accountability is not peace. They are not calling for protests. Okay? They are not calling for chaos. They are choosing truth, distance, and discernment. Many Americans are saying that they don't want war or fight with these immigrants like the Somalis. What they want, they are done with pretending. They want that accountability to be checked. Because it's like things are not moving the way they expect them to move. This is not about Somalis. It's about a broader pattern where black Americans are expected to absorb disrespect while being blamed the moment they respond. This moment represents boundaries being drawn and narratives being corrected. A community choosing dignity over approval. No violence, they're just firm. Black Americans didn't break their silence out of anger. They broke it out of clarity. Clarity that respect must be mutual. Clarity that public resources demands that accountability. Clarity that unity without honesty is just fake. This is not a declaration of war to anyone or to any immigrant. It's a declaration of self-respect to the American people. And from today henceforth, the message is very clear and very simple. Silence was a courtesy, and speaking up is just a choice. So guys, what do you say? If you're watching us for the first time, please drop us your thoughts in the comment section and let's see what you think. And of course, if you love this channel, please subscribe, and let's meet again in my next video. This is your guy Fred from the motherland, or if you like, Fred's Teachers Hub.